got another theory here for you guys. And this theory, is a few days old. I guess it right here in Inverse. It got published August 11th. So about 3 days old, but seems like a pretty good one to me. It says, Genius, Rise of Skywalker Theory explains Palpatine, Rey, Zorri, and more. And Zorri is Zorri Bliss. And in this theory, they're believing that Zorri Bliss has a connection to Rey. And that she can possibly be her mom or her caretaker. And we're going to find out a little bit more on that. So here it says, the most comprehensive Star Wars Rise of Skywalker fan theory in recent memory hit Reddit on Tuesday. And it's got everything you could possibly want out of theoretical spoilers. Who was Snoke? How does Palpatine return? What are Rey's true origins? Will Kylo Ren ever be redeemed? What's the deal with Matt Smith? And with Matt Smith, they're saying that he's some sort of, I guess, Palpatine. They're saying that Palpatine in the movie, this is the theory, that he's just going to be a disembodied spirit. So his spirit, kind of like how Qui-Gon Jinn appeared to Yoda in the Clone Wars. He didn't appear in a physical body, but he appeared as a disembodied spirit.
How are you here?
I am a manifestation of the Force. A force that consists of two parts. Living beings generate the living force, which in turn powers the wellspring that is the cosmic force.
So that could be possible with Palpatine. But they're saying that with Matt Smith, he's some sort of clone or somebody he possesses and uses and possibly fights with Rey and Kylo. So it's Palpatine in this possessing a body and he's fighting Rey and Kylo, or both, or either one or the other. So anyways, as we go down further here, it says the theory points out some of the rumors and supposed leaks that came out of a Making Star Wars podcast released August 5th. And how they led to all sorts of speculation about Palpatine's terrifying new ship, Rey's memories being tampered, a la Knights of the Old Republic, and what could be a connection between Luke Skywalker and Kerry Russell's Zorri Bliss. Reddit user YayaY references Palpatine's official contingency plan for after his death, which included Operation Cinder, as depicted in Star Wars Battlefront 2. As depicted in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign and other canon Star Wars stories from the comics. So I'm going to just stop right here and kind of tackle a little bit what Operation Cinder is. Operation Cinder was something in Battlefront 2. I played Battlefront 2. And as a matter of fact, let me go down a little bit right here and you can see the picture. This is sort of like a robot sentinel that is just basically a machine, but this is a hologram recording of Palpatine's face. And he's giving orders to the Empire. Specifically, this is Iden Versio and her father. I forgot what his first name is. But she comes into the room. He's already there. This is her right here. And he reveals the message to her.
Admiral Versio, Operation Cinder is to begin at once. Resistance, rebellion, defiance. These are concepts that cannot be allowed to persist. You are but one of many tools by which these ideas shall be burned away. Heed my messenger. He shall relay you to your target.
So, and basically it's a contingency plan that if anything was to fail with the Empire, the Emperor, this crazy son of a gun, who I think is the best character in Star Wars, like this guy, you want to talk about the ultimate villain. He's the ultimate villain. Not Vader, not Kylo Ren, not anybody else, not Grand Moff Tarkin. He's the ultimate villain because he's the only one that I'm aware of, at least, you know, as being a main villain. We know Tarkin, he was probably, no, actually he was with the Republic. In the going back to the Clone Wars. So he was in that transition from Republic to Empire. He was always loyal in that sense of just that sweeping transition and just sticking with it and not becoming a rebel or anything like that. He just kind of went with the flow. And, but anyway, regarding this, it was basically, yeah, you know, a contingency plan to destroy the Empire. Like I said, he's the best villain in Star Wars. He's the only one that has been evil throughout. No flip-flopping, no, oh, I'm going to go to the light side, I'm going to go to the dark side, I'm going to go to the dark side, back to the light. No. Evil throughout the whole series, the whole saga. So he's the best character as far as I'm concerned. Because he's evil, yeah, he's maniacal, but the guy is a freaking genius, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was crazy. He wanted, after Return of the Jedi, if the Empire wasn't going to succeed, the guy was like, he's like one of those jealous lovers that if I can't have you, nobody will. Nobody's going to have this Empire. Only me. If it fails, I'm bringing the whole thing down. He was crazy, man. Palpatine's a nutcase. So anyway, let's go back to right up here, guys. And it says, the idea was to destabilize the galaxy, eradicate the rebels, and destroy the Empire so it could be reborn again in the outer rim of the galaxy. That was a little typo there on their part. Canonically, this is what led to the creation of the First Order. But there could be a more personal angle for Palpatine. Seeing right here, it says, right here, guys. Palpatine put recorded messages in a bunch of creepy droids to give orders after death. Can't really say that word, but I know what it means, but I have a tough time pronouncing it, so moving on. Palpatine told Anakin that they'd find the secret to stopping people from dying, referencing a conversation from Revenge of the Sith.
Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
I believe Palpatine secretly meant by this that he was planning on possessing Anakin to continue living after his body died. For Revenge of the Sith to see this detail and never really follow through on it would feel weird once the saga closes, so it seems reasonable to think it will factor into episode 9. So Palpatine, you know, if this theory is true, this guy likes to possess people, man. So here we go. It says, in this theory, Palpatine always intended to use Anakin Skywalker as a host he could possess to live on after death. After that, obviously failed, he resorted to taking control of Snoke, a dark side enthusiast we know virtually nothing about because Snoke was a pawn all along. But Palpatine always considered this a temporary solution. That's where Rey comes in. Palpatine Snoke, feels a strong presence in the Force in a very young Rey. He realizes she would be a perfect vessel to possess and return to full strength. He hires a bounty hunter, Zorri Bliss, to find Rey and steal her from her family to bring to the First Order. Similar to other recent rumors and theories, Zorri Bliss's ship looks like the same one from Rey's memory of being abandoned on Jakku, leading some to assume that Bliss is either Rey's alcoholic junk trader mother or that she was involved in some greater mystery that happened during Rey's youth that could explain what makes her so special. Wow. You never know, man. You never know. But like I said before, these theories don't make or break anything for me, man. I don't attach myself to theories like that. They're interesting. I enjoy them. Like I said in my introduction video to the channel, I basically said, I myself wrote a theory after The Force Awakens, on who Rey was and so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, they're interesting. So anyways, moving on. It says Zorri could be the Yondu to Rey's Star-Lord from the MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy series, in that she was hired to deliver Rey somewhere but decided to protect the child instead. And here in parentheses it says this part of the theory would also work if Rey turns out to be a Palpatine clone created in a remote lab, which is another theory out there that she's a clone. I've heard about that theory. Haven't really read up too much about it, but it's not something that I was totally unaware of. And right here it says maybe Zorri is the drunk traitor that Rey remembers. Also, what if the Rise of Skywalker unfolds with all the characters gradually discovering all of this information only to find that Palpatine's spirit exists somewhere in the Outer Rim? He's now desperate to possess Kylo Ren and wants to destroy Rey, but eventually has to settle for Matt Smith's secret character, presumably some B-list Sith wannabe. And here's the interesting thing, and we're going to end it off with this, guys. This paragraph right here. According to Yaya Y's theory, this leads to the final confrontation. Kylo, now in control of a First Order army that he knows nothing of the backstory of, meanwhile discovers Palpatine in the unknown regions with the help of his Knights of Ren and a Wayfinder as described in MSW. Palpatine's spirit is there, disembodied, and it becomes clear throughout the movie that Palpatine's plan is to possess Kylo and use him as a new host, just as he planned to do for Anakin and Rey. This, with Palpatine's orders to destroy Rey, becomes Kylo's breaking point to turn against the First Order and Palpatine. In an epic climax, Palpatine then possesses Matt Smith's character, a quote dark side acolyte, and fights Rey and Kylo. Here's the big part right here, guys. This is the one that really intrigued me. And as MSW leaks indicate, Palpatine jumps into Kylo's body and Kylo tells Rey to kill him to destroy Palpatine once and for all. That would be crazy. And could that be what J.J. Abrams was telling Kevin Smith when he said the final scene will melt your mind?
On out. So I got to hang out and be there on set. And there was this scuttlebutt about a set there at Pinewood, a big set that they were like, you have to see this. When you see it, it'll melt your mind. And I was like, what was it? And they were like, ask JJ. And so I asked JJ, I was like, they keep telling me I should see the set. And he goes, don't. I said, why? And he goes, the last shot of the movie. So I was like, well, now I really want to see it. And he goes, you don't want this spoiled. You want to be in a theater when this happens, trust me. And then other people on the crew were like, bro, I wish I hadn't seen it. I'm glad I did. He's going, but it will melt your mind. It's.
Could this be it? Because when I first read this, I was like, whoa. Whoa, that's how Kylo redeems himself? That basically he takes out the Emperor, the king villain of Star Wars? And does he actually stay dead once and for all? I mean, this is what the theory says he's destroyed, but how does he stay dead once and for all? We all know with like comics and movies and stuff like that, no one's ever really gone. Hey, Luke said it. No one's ever really gone.
I held out hope for so long, but I know my son's gone.
No one's ever really gone.
You know? So nobody really dies, you know what I'm saying? To destroy Palpatine once and for all. I mean, that's a good thought, or a good theory. But, you know, I like the theory. I like the whole theory I just kind of read out to you guys here. But, you know, I still think it would be cool. You know, if Palpatine ends up coming back after that sometime way down the line, or, however, you know, that's how these things end up playing out. It's movies, you know. Star Wars is not real life. I love Star Wars, but it's not real life. And as far as like with Marvel and stuff like that, and DC and stuff like that, we've seen Superman die, Superman come back. You know what I mean? Characters die and come back all the time. So, but we'll see what happens. And it just goes on to say, one last thing I'm just going to add here, guys, and I'm going to end the video. But it says, the one plot hole that would make sense is, why is the film called The Rise of Skywalker? But there's any number of dialogue options or other plot twists that could still fit into this theory to make it work. Yeah, what, you know, as far as this theory is concerned, it doesn't really give us any indication as to why it's called Rise of Skywalker. You know? How's that play into this theory? The Rise of Skywalker. What does that mean? Luke coming back? Another theory out there saying that it's just a group of Skywalkers. Instead of the Jedi, it's the Skywalkers now. Which I'm not totally against. Again, it's how they make it work, you know? How many things have we thought that were going to be corny just off the title? And then we see it play out. We see the movie. We see the show. We see whatever, the story, the book. And then we read it and we're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that based on this. I wasn't expecting that based on that. So it's just interesting. This is an interesting theory. And when Rise of Skywalker releases in theaters, December 2019, we'll find out. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And remember to always keep it
charming to the last.